Hello friends, in this video we will discuss about the Dasha system in Vedic Astrology Jyotisha, and mainly we'll be discussing about the two main Dasha systems that are Vimshottari and Yogini Dashas. So let's get started. Dasha in Sanskrit term, it means the condition or state or circumstances or a period of life or a planetary period of life. So in Vedic astrology, the Dasha system is a unique method that's not present in the Western astrology. So in the Eastern astrology, there is this Dasha system, which is used to determine which planets influence a person's life at different times. The influence could be either positive or negative. So Dasha doesn't mean it's a negative thing. It depends upon the planet's characteristics in the chart. So if a planet is positive in the chart, then whenever that planet's dasha arrives in life, then positive things will happen to that person. So this system helps to assess the effects of planets throughout life of the person by showing how they distribute their effects. So Dasha helps to identify different things in person's life. So Dasha helps identifying favorable and unfavorable or challenging periods in life. From looking at the Dasha, we can also predict or analyze the career, predict the marriage time, or predict the health issues or the financial issues that any person will have in life. And also it can help to analyze overall material as well as spiritual progress in life. So let's look into the key concepts of the Dasha system. So basically, Dasha is a planetary period, and each period influences various aspects of life based on the position of the planets in the birth chart. So, for example, if a planet is related to career in the birth chart, then whenever the Dasha of that planet goes on, then something related to career happens. Some events related to the career could happen in that person's life. So the Dasha effects, Dasha periods can affect health, wealth, happiness, and various aspects of life. So it depends upon the planet's signification in the birth chart. So if a planet signifies health, then the health aspects of the person will be affected on that planet's Dasha period. And the good and bad effects are produced according to planet's placement. So according to the planet position in the chart, like on which sign or Rasi, on which house, on what kind of combinations are there, on which sign and Rasi is the planet present, and if any other planets are aspecting that particular planet. So we need to consider all these things to analyze any planetary period or any Dasha. So there are 9 planets in Vedic astrology. So each Dasha is governed by one planet, one of the 9 planets. So they are the 7 classical planets: Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. And then there is also a Dasha of Rahu, and there is also a Dasha of Ketu. So Rahu and Ketu are the north node and south node of the moon. And talking about different types of Dashas, there are, in classical text, there are a lot of Dasha Dashas explained. There are 43 different Dasha systems found in different astrology texts. And some of the commonly used Dasha systems are Vimshottari Dasha, Yogini Dasha, Ashtottari Dasha, Chara Dasha. Chara Dasha is mainly used in Gemini astrology, and Kala Chakra Dasha. So Kala Chakra Dasha is Nakshatra based Dasha. So among these Dasha systems, Vimshottari Dasha is the most common Dasha system. So in this video, we will be going through explaining Vimshottari Dasha and Yogini Dasha. So Vimshottari Dasha system is the prominent system, and the full lifespan of Vimshottari Dasha is 120 years. And those 120 years are divided or distributed among 9 planetary periods. So the Dasha starts like whenever a child is born. We need to first figure out what will be the starting Dasha of that person. So that is determined by the moon's position in the chart. So moon goes on moving from one nakshatra or to another nakshatra. So each planet will move from one zodiac sign to another zodiac sign, and each zodiac sign is divided into nakshatras. So moon resides in one of the 27 nakshatras, and each nakshatra is ruled by a specific planet. For example, Aswini, Magha and Mula, these 3 nakshatras are ruled by Ketu. Bharani, Purva Phalguni and Purva Ashada, these 3 nakshatras are ruled by Venus. Kritika, Uttar Phalguni and Uttara Ashada, these 3 are ruled by Sun, and so on for all other nakshatras. So the nakshatra or lunar mansions that the moon occupies at the time of birth determines the initial Dasha period. So at the time of birth, we need to look into the chart and see the moon's position, see on which nakshatra is moon located. And for example, if the moon is located in Magha nakshatra, then the starting Dasha of that person will be Ketu. If the moon is located in Kritika nakshatra, the starting Dasha or the planetary periods of that person will be of Sun. So based on that, like if the starting Dasha is of Ketu, then the sequence will follow in this manner. So first the person will have Ketu Dasha, and whenever Ketu Dasha ends, then the next Dasha will be of Venus, and after Venus Dasha, the person will get Sun's Dasha. After Sun, the person will get Moon's Dasha. After Moon, he or she will get Mars Dasha. After Mars, Rahu Dasha. After Rahu, Jupiter Dasha. After Jupiter, Saturn Dasha. And after Saturn, Mercury Dasha. And after Mercury, again, the Ketu Dasha will start. So a total of if you go from Ketu to Mercury, it will be a total of 120 years. And if a person lives more than 120 years, for example, let's say the person's Dasha started from Ketu and it ends in Mercury, then it will be around 120 years. And if the person lives more than 120 years, then after Mercury, again the person's Dasha, Ketu Dasha will start in that person's life. So for example, as another example, if the person's moon is located in Kritika nakshatra, then the first Dasha of that person's life will be of Sun, and then the second Dasha after Sun, it will Moon Dasha will start, and after Moon, Mars, and so on, and then after Mercury, again the person will have Ketu Dasha, and then after Ketu, Venus, and so on. So this is a sequence that we saw on a previous slide. We said that in this sequence, after the Ketu Dasha, the person will get Venus Dasha, but the Planish Dasha or planetary period is not equal. Like the Ketu Dasha will be of 7 years, and after Ketu Dasha, we will get Venus Dasha, and Venus Dasha is of 20 years. For 20 years, the person will get Venus Dasha, and after Venus Dasha, the person will get Sun's Dasha, After Sun's Dasha, the person will get Moon's Dasha. Sun's Dasha is of 6 years, Moon's Dasha is of 10 years, Mars 7 years, Rahu 18 years, Jupiter 16 years, Saturn 19 years, Mercury 17 years. So if a person gets Ketu Dasha at the beginning of his or her life, then it will be of 7 years. So for the first 7 years, the person will have Ketu Dasha, and after 7 years until the age of 27, because the person will get Venus Dasha, because the Venus the Dasha is of 20 years. So until the age of 27, the person will have the Venus Dasha, and after Venus Dasha, the person will get Sun's Dasha for 6 years. So until 33 years of age, the person will, like from 27 to 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Until 33 years of his age, that person will get Sun's Dasha. And from 33, like after the Sun Dasha, the person will get Moon's Dasha. So Moon Dasha is of 10 years. So from age 33 to 43, the person will be in Moon's Dasha. And then the person will get Mars Dasha. So from 43 to like Mars Dasha is of 7 years. So from 43 to 50, the person will get Mars Dasha, and so on. It will move on sequentially. So one thing to note is that the person will not, like at the beginning of a child, whenever a person is born, at the beginning, that person might not get the full years of Dasha. Full years of the starting Dasha. For example, if a person gets the Ketu Dasha at the beginning of his or her life, then it doesn't mean that, since the Ketu Dasha is of 7 years, it doesn't mean that the person will get full 7 years of Ketu Dasha. It depends upon the moon's position in the chart. For example, like the portion of the nakshatra traversed by the moon at birth determines how much of that planet's Dasha is left. For example, if each nakshatra is 13 degree 20 minutes, so if the moon has traversed 40% of the nakshatra, like, or 50%, like if the moon is in the middle of any nakshatra, then it means that moon has already traveled 40 to 50% of that nakshatra. So only, like, if the moon has traveled 40% of the nakshatra, then 40% of the current Dasha is over, and the remaining 60% is the starting period. So for example, if like the moon's Dasha is 10 years, so for example, if the moon or Venus Dasha is of 20 years, and if the moon is in any nakshatra that is ruled by Venus, then ideally, like by definition, Venus Dasha will start at the child's birth time, and the first Dasha will be the Venus Dasha. And it doesn't mean that the person will get 20 years of Venus Dasha at the beginning. If the moon has traversed 40% of that nakshatra, then the person will only get the remaining 60% of Venus Dasha at the beginning. So it means, like, if the moon has traversed 40%, then the 60% of Venus Dasha means 12 years. So at the beginning, the person will only get 12 years of Venus Dasha, and then after 12 years, Sun Dasha will start in this sequence. And we should also understand the sub periods. So in any Dasha, in any planetary period, there are planetary sub periods and planetary sub periods also. Like the sub periods are called Antardashas, and the sub periods are called Pratyantar Dashas. So the main period or the main Dasha is divided into sub periods or Antardasha. So for example, if in Venus Dasha of 20 years, the Antardashas are further divided into proportions of all 9 planets. So whenever Venus Dasha starts, it will start from, and then it will have the Antardasha, and in Venus Dasha, the Antardasha will start from Venus itself, and then it will follow the sequence. Like after Venus, it will start the Sun Dasha and so on. And the proportion is like consistent with the time allocation. Like in 20 years of Venus Dasha, so we need to, when we calculate the Antardasha, it will all of these planetary periods will be equally divided within the 20 years period. So for example, the main Dasha is of 120 years, and it has Ketu as 7 years, Venus as 20 years, and so on. So in the Venus main Dasha, there will be Antardasha of all of these planets. And since the Venus main Dasha is of 20 years, so all of these years will be proportionally divided for considering the total years as 20 years. And similarly for Sun's Dasha of 6 years, this Dasha, main Dasha, will also have Antardashas of all of these planets, and the time period is like proportionally divided, considering the total years as 6 years, and so on for other planets. And similarly, there are sub periods, or also called Pratyantar Dasha, and these are the sub periods of the Antardasha. So Antardasha is further divided into another proportions of 9 planets. So while analyzing the dashas or analyzing the results of the dashas, we need to consider different things like the placement of the planets in the birth chart. So if the planet or dasha lord, whose dasha we are getting, if it is strong, that is placed in a favorable house, 1st house, 5th house, 9th house, 10th house, or well aspected by other positive planets, then the dasha will bring good results. And if the dasha lord is weak or afflicted, that is either it is combust or in enemy's house or debilitated or aspected by malefics or bad planets, then it will give challenges. Also, we need to consider the planetary nature. There are benefics and malefics planet. The benefic planet are Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, and an unafflicted moon. These planets dasha will bring growth, wealth, happiness. And if there is a dasha of malefics like Saturn, Mars, Rahu, and Ketu, they can bring obstacles, delays, and transformations. And then we need to consider the functional roles as well. The planets can be malefics and benefics. So these are the natural malefics and benefics, but based on the chart, like based on the position of the planets in the chart, they could be like the benefics planet could be malefics as a functional role in the chart. The natural malefics can be benefics as a functional role in the chart. So a malefic planet could bring good results or good results if it rules favorable houses. Means like a malefic planet, a natural malefic planet could be benefics in the chart. So it could bring good results if it's in favorable houses, and the benefic planet may cause challenges if it in unfavorable houses like 6th house, 8th house, and 12th house. We should also consider the transit influence. So dasha could be modified by transits of the planets. So as I mentioned earlier, like the moon's position, we get the starting dasha based on the moon's position in the nakshatra, and we also get the starting dasha period. Like it's not most of the time it's not the full years of the starting dasha. We will only get partial dashas at the start. It's because of the moon's like the moon's traversed how much has the moons travel through the nakshatra. It depends upon that. So Rahu's full dasha is 18 years. So if moons at birth, if 50% of Rahu's period is completed, then the starting dasha will be like the Rahu, but it will only be 9 years, of 9 years. And then after Rahu dasha ends, the sequence continues, and then after the first dasha, we will get the full years of other planets dasha. It's only the starting dasha that's not full, that could be partial. So each dasha brings its own flavor. So in this list, I've written down the natural signification of each planet. So each planet will bring something related to their signification whenever their planetary periods run. So in Ketu Dasha, there will be spiritual growth, detachment, and sudden changes. Venus Dasha, there will be wealth, relationships, creativity, and luxury. Sun's Dasha, there will be authority, recognition, health concerns. Moon's Dasha, there will be emotional growth, family and home focus. Mars Dasha, there will be courage, ambition, and possible aggression. Rahu Dasha, there will be material gains, foreign connections, and possible upheavals. Jupiter Dasha, there will be wisdom, prosperity, and stability. Saturn Dasha, there will be hard work, discipline, and possible delays. Mercury Dasha, there will be intellectual pursuits, communication, and travel. Now let's look into Yogini Dasha. So Yogini Dasha is another important predictive system in Vedic astrology. The entire cycle of Yogini Dasha is of 36 years. It is divided into 8 planetary periods, each ruled by a Yogini. Those 8 periods are cyclical, so it is repeated throughout the years. So whenever the 36 years of the Yogini Dasha system ends, this Yogini Dasha cycle ends, then it will restart again. So after 36 years, the cycle repeats. So the first Yogini Dasha may begin with Mangala or the moon, and it is followed by Pingala or sun, and so on. And Yogini Dasha, like Vimshottari Dasha, Yogini Dasha is also divided into sub-periods or Antardashas, and these are also ruled by the 8 Yoginis, and their duration is proportionate to the main Yogini Dasha period. And they will also have sub-periods or also called Pratyantar Dasha, and that's the subdivision of the Antardashas. So the starting Dasha is determined by Moon's nakshatra at the time of the birth, and each nakshatra is linked to a specific Yogini Dasha. So each Yogini is linked to a planet and has a fixed duration. So these are the 8 Yoginis. They are Mangala, Pingala, Dhanya, Brahmari, Bhadrika, Ulka, Siddha, and Sankata. So Mangala's ruling planet is Moon. The Dasha duration is 1 year. So Dasha duration is like it goes sequentially. First, Mangala's Dasha. Mangala is ruled by Moon, Dasha period 1 years. Pingala ruled by Sun, Dasha period 2 years. Dhanya ruled by Jupiter, Dasha period 3 years. Brahmari ruled by Mars, Dasha period 4 years. Bhadrika ruled by Mercury, Dasha period 5 years. Ulka ruled by Saturn, Dasha period 6 years. Siddha ruled by Venus, Dasha period 7 years. Sankata ruled by Rahu, Dasha period 8 years. So Moon's nature, like Dasha's nature, will be Mangala's Dasha nature will be emotional growth, creativity, fluctuations. Pingala's or Sun's Dasha period, Dasha nature will be authority, health, vitality, and recognition. Dhanya, Jupiter Dasha nature will be prosperity, wisdom, and learning. Brahmari, Mars Dasha nature will be courage, aggression, and leadership. Bhadrika, Mercury's Dasha nature will be communication, intellect, and adaptability. Ulka, Saturn's Dasha nature will be hard work, discipline, and delays. Siddha, Venus Dasha nature will be luxury, relationships, and creativity. Sankata, Rahu's Dasha nature will be transformation, challenges, and material gains. So the total Dasha duration is of 36 years. So while interpreting a Yogini Dasha, we need to consider different things like nature of the ruling planet, benefics planet like Moon, Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury bring positive results. Malefic planets Sun, Mars, Rahu, and Saturn brings challenges and significant life transformations. We also need to consider the planetary placements in the birth chart. If a ruling planet is strong, well placed, and in good houses, its dasha brings favorable results. If the planet is afflicted or weak, the dasha may bring struggles. And we also need to consider the functional roles in the chart, functional role of the planet. So if the planet ruling favorable houses, like the trines and quadrants houses, tend to give auspicious results, even if the planet is naturally malefic. If it rules favorable houses, then it will give good results. And planet ruling malefic houses like 6th house, 8th house, 12th house may bring difficulties in life. So even if a benefic planet rules the 6th, 8th, and 12th house, it could bring difficulties. Transit and aspects. So we also need to consider the transit of the planets and also the aspects of the planets in the chart while analyzing the Yogini Dasha. So these are the detailed overview of each Yogini Dasha. So Mangala's Dasha or Moon's Dasha will bring emotional growth, family matters, creativity, may bring fluctuations as well in mood. Pingala Dasha or Sun Dasha will focus on authority, health, and recognition, may bring career growth or ego-related issues as well. Dhanya or Jupiter's Dasha will bring prosperity, wisdom, spiritual growth, and it's favorable for education, marriage, and children. Vramari Mars Dasha will bring courage, energy, and leadership. It can bring conflicts or aggression as well. Vadrika or Mercury's Dasha will bring communication, adaptability, and intellectual pursuits. It's favorable for business and learning as well. Ulka Saturn's Dasha will bring hard work, discipline, patience. It could also bring challenges and delays, but the results could be rewarding. Siddha or Venus Dasha will bring luxury, relationships, and artistic pursuits. It brings love, wealth, happiness if Venus is strong. Sankata or Rahu's Dasha will bring transformation, upheavals, and material gains. And it could also bring sudden changes or challenges. So as a practical example, if Moon is in Ashwini Nakshatra at birth, so the Ashwini Nakshatra is ruled by Ketu. So Ashwini Nakshatra corresponds to the Sankata Rahu Yogini Dasha. So your starting Dasha will be Sankata or Rahu for 8 years. The sequence will proceed as, so the first 8 years will be, or it could be partial as well at the start of the Dasha. So it will be, the initial Dasha will be of Rahu, and then there will be 1 year of Moon's Dasha or Mangala Dasha, and then 2 years of Pingala or Sun's Dasha, and then 3 years of Dhanya or Jupiter's Dasha, and the sequence will move on. So the practical uses of Yogini Dasha, we use, basically the Dashas are used for event timing, predicting events like health events, relationships, finances, career. It also helps us to focus on material things like practical outcomes and challenges related to worldly matters, or even some spiritual matters as well. Like we could also predict spiritual progress. And it could also be used as a cross-checking prediction. Like we could use Vimshottari Dasha and then use simultaneously use Yogini Dasha to check the accuracy of the predictions. So the key takeaways from the Dasha system that we looked today is Dashas are useful while timing the life events, like major events. We could use Dasha system to time to predict the timing of major life events like careers, childbirth, marriage, and other milestones. And it also provides insights into personal growth opportunities that are aligned with planetary influences. And we should also know that the effect of Dasha vary significantly from person to person. So it depends, the Dasha effect of Dasha depends on the individual birth chart and planetary placement in that birth chart. So if Saturn Dasha is good for one person, then the same, like the Saturn Dasha could be bad for another person's chart. So it depends upon the placement of the planet in the chart. If a planet is placed in a favorable houses, or if a planet is strong and benefic in the chart, then that planet will give good results. But if in another chart the same planet is not strong, it's malefic, then it will give bad results. So it depends upon chart. The results depend upon the chart. So we need to analyze properly. We need to analyze the chart properly before analyzing the Dasha system. And then it helps in holistic understanding of the chart, and holistic understanding the planetary energies that shape different stages of life. And it also helps individuals align with their life paths and navigate the challenges effectively. So it helps people to prepare for challenges and maximize the opportunities as well. So yeah, that's all for the Dasha system in astrology. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you found it helpful, please like the video. You may comment if you have any questions, and also please share and subscribe. Thank you.